This is Donna Fiducia.
And Don Newitt, co-hosts of Cowboy Logic Radio. We're politically incorrect.
Yes, we are.
We're unfiltered.
Yes, we are.
And we speak common sense.
Yes, we do. For 26 years, I was in the mainstream media. No more. Ladies and gentlemen, the mainstream media has failed you miserably.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cowboy Logic Radio will not fail you. The time has come for unfiltered, politically incorrect common sense. Welcome to the wild world of Cowboy Logic.
We're back on Cowboy Logic Radio. I'm Donna Fiducia along with Don Newitt, and we are at CPAC. And we've been just running around talking with a bunch of people. We've talked with Brigitte Gabriel, backforamerica.org, and a bunch of other just really great patriots here at CPAC 2016 in Washington, D.C. But this is something I have wanted. I mean, I'm just a huge fan of Mark Levin. Everybody knows that, okay? I make no bones about it. I've got a, pretty sizable career in New York City, but Mark Levin is one person that I've just always revered. And I when I worked with him, or Hannity, I should say, at Fox, I never had the chance to meet Mark Levin, but I certainly met him in the interview him, but I certainly met him in the green room a few times. And I'm just a huge fan of what he does, what he stands for, and what he's trying to continue to do. And Mark Levin TV is now launching. And as we set up here at CPAC, right behind us was the Mark Levin Show. So I thought, hey, how cool is that? Went over, met everybody, and told them that we were early subscribers. What is it, $59.95 or whatever it is? And then after March 1st or March 15th, after they launch, is going to be a little bit more money, but very, very, very reasonable for 1 year. Anyhow, so this morning, we go to see Mark Levin speak, and this amazing kid played the guitar for the national anthem, and he's 12 years old. And his name is Kenny Kakaty. And we find out later on that Kenny's dad, Joe, is the producer of the Mark Levin Show. First of all, Kenny's up there at 12 years old, playing guitar, the national anthem, for like thousands of people to start off CPAC that morning. And so we went over to Kenny when he came back down to the booth, because he's right next to us, and we started talking to him. And Kenny is 12 years old, going on 50. Kenny is Mark Levin Jr. to the T. And I want to welcome Kenny Kakaty and his dad, Joe Kakaty, to Cowboy Logic Radio. Kenny and Joe, it is just an honor to have you both.
Thank you for having us.
And Kenny, your dad, Joe, are you the executive producer? Or
no,
you
I'm actually not the producer at all.
Okay.
But I am a principal with the group, and we're very, very excited. It's about time, and we're ready to have Levin TV be launched, which is on Monday, March 7th.
Okay, so we paid what, $59?
$59 even.
Even?
Yep.
And then after that, it's going to be just a few bucks more, but well worth it.
Absolutely.
And the set is beautiful. And you helped design that set, I guess, and you got everything together for it. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. This is one time where we were all able to keep a secret. For over a year, we've been planning this and building this, and it was at every whim. It was everything Mark could ever want and more. We really wanted to please him, and we want to please his beloved fans, as he calls them.
And he is. And you know what? He makes no bones about what he feels, how he feels, and he can argue with fact, which is something that just is so lacking nowadays.
Can I share with you a quick story?
Sure.
So this morning, my son, who's, as you described him, Levin Jr. in a way, in that he just loves his country, he was going to play the electric guitar here at CPAC 2016, and he was going to do the national anthem. And so, of course, as his father, I was a little bit nervous for him. And I was backstage, and I was standing and looking at the flat screen TV, and after Kenny was going to be Dana Lesh, and then Mark Levin after that. And Mark and his fiancée Julie were standing there with us, and Mark did the most touching thing. And we all know him as being such a tough guy. And being a business partner of Mark's, I certainly see his business side, and he's a hard-charging, hard-working, great human being. But I got to see a real special side to him. He put his arm around me, and he said, "I know you're a little bit nervous right now for your son, and he's going to do great. And I looked at him, I said, gosh, man, thanks. I really appreciate that support. And then the second moving piece that happened just after that is when Kenny started playing the national anthem. He didn't expect this, and nor did we. The crowd, thousands of people out there, started singing the song, and it was so moving. It was really, really a special moment.
Wow, that's just, and as a father, you just can't be any prouder. Your heart's like thumping, I'm sure, like you say, you're so nervous about it. But Mark Levin is just, he's a great American, you know?
He certainly is.
To coin Hannity's phrase. But Kenny, we had you on earlier when we were on live on our stations in South Georgia and North Florida. And I'm sitting here talking to you, and I can't believe you're 12 years old. I mean, I've never talked to such a kid who's so well informed. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into this? Was it your dad that got you hooked into this? And what happens when you go to school? Because I can just imagine, you know, what your classmates feel about you. And to me, you are a national treasure at age 12. You really are.
Well, thank you. I got into politics because I would be in the car with my dad and I'd hear Mark Levin on the radio, and after a while I started to get a little bit interested, so I asked him, and he'd write out sketches showing the difference between the left and the right, and I got very interested in it and studied up on it, and now I'm like really into it.
Do you do what I do sometimes when you watch these politicians on TV? Do you start screaming at the TV?
Sometimes, a little bit.
Don's son would be in the car with me and he'd be like, Donna, they can't hear you. I'm like, I don't know. It's just I got to get it out of my system. How can people be so naive about what's going on? What happens when you go to school? You talk politics with your friends?
I don't do a lot of politics because I mean, like they don't care. They care about a lot of other stuff like sports and and yeah, I mean, I try to keep them informed on, like, what the next primary caucus is, but other than that, I can't do much.
I didn't even know what a primary caucus was at age 12. I'm sorry. It's just too funny. All right, we had Brigitte Gabriel here earlier, and we put a little headsets on you so you could listen in. And she's she's trying to talk about how she needs to wake people up and how, as a person who's come here from a country that was so war-torn, and her family is so, was tortured essentially for being Christian in the Middle East. And then she popped up and said how, she can't endorse anybody, but she does feel that Donald Trump is striking a nerve. And I can see Kenny's going, he was jumping up and down. I was like, okay, what was going through your head then?
Well, I believe she's a truly inspiring story, and I think she's really cool. But I just don't understand how a conservative could back Donald Trump.
Wow, okay, so tell me what you thought about the debate last night.
Oh, I think Donald Trump, I think Fox News really hit him hard and presented him with the facts, and because he had so much rhetoric and he had nothing to back it up. And I think it was really smart of them to attack him on that, and I think Cruz and Rubio got some shots at him too.
So much rhetoric. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. No, I can figure it out. But all right, so did you find that at this point that Trump should at least be a little bit more possibly detailed about what his plans would be and his ideas would be? If
I were him, I'd go into detail. If he really had a plan, I would go into detail about it. And I believe he doesn't. I believe he's all talk.
We are talking...
Like he says, all talk, no action, but he says it about other people, and it's him that's all talk, no action.
Well, yeah, because now he's even saying I was going to build the wall. Well, maybe, I'll talk about some immigrants being able to stay, even though they were all going to be deported later. But see, in some respects, I think he's appealing to Democrats who are unhappy with Hillary and Bernie Sanders.
I think he's got the people who are mad. Anyone who's mad just automatically goes for him because he just has that feeling resonating with him of anger. But I don't think he'd actually do anything about that anger. He's just the same thing as hope and change, like Obama. Everyone was like, we hated our last president, we want something new, and Trump is doing the exact same thing, and I don't think it's going to be great for the American people.
So it's almost like a reactionary response where people are just looking for anything, and it might be a case of be careful what you wish for?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, we're talking with Kenny Kakaty. Ladies and gentlemen, he's 12 years old. But he had a good start because his dad, Joe, is involved with the Mark Levin show. And again, it's a fantastic television show that's being launched. Mark Levin, it's $59 for how many more days there?
Just until Monday,
Until
March
Monday?
7th. Yep.
And then after that, what is it?
It goes up $10, so it'll be $69.
Still a steal for $69 for the whole year. The set is gorgeous. I mean, coming from the Fox News Channel, everything is looks, unfortunately. You really do have to have something that's appealing looking. And so that's television, you kind of got to do that. So you got to throw a little bucks behind it. And for $69 a year, it's totally worth it. Levin is going to start with at least 1 hour, right? And then does he have any plans to expand on that, or is that something you can't talk about
yet? Oh, absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
Donna. He's going to have guests. He's excited about it. He's called all favors in, and he's super, super excited for this first week. And he's very, very prepared as well. As you know, Mark Levin is a preparer, and he's such a winner. That's why he's the great one.
He certainly is the great one. He I guess Rick Santorum, I saw, was going to be one of his first guests.
Oh, you saw the sizzle reel? Wasn't that a great sizzle reel?
Hey, I'm a subscriber now. I saw the sizzle reel, yes.
Oh, absolutely. You know, when I was passing by the booth area, I didn't know that Brigitte was over here. That's fascinating because you may not know this, but Kenny and I are both with Syrian background. And so when we ran into her earlier, we said we should reconnect because we're Christian and we're from Syria. And we've got deep thoughts about it, and it is a very divisive issue. But I would agree with Kenny. I think that the primaries that are open primaries, there's a reason that Trump is doing well in those. It is because he has a draw with the Democratic base as well. But I think in the closed primaries, we're going to see a different reaction. Look at Oklahoma was closed and only available to Republicans, and Cruz was able to pull that win off.
Yeah, in fact, Kenny and I were talking about that in the other interview that we did, and exactly. Being a closed primary, meaning only the actual party can vote for you.
Right.
But that might hurt Trump as far as getting
his own party.
His own party, exactly. And then what's going to happen in a general election, can he get enough... I mean, if he's not the nominee, can Ted Cruz... Kenny, I'm going to throw this one at you. Do you think Ted Cruz can have a broad enough base to pull this off?
I think if he ends up winning the nomination, first he has to score his own party in order to actually win the nomination. Once he's scored his own party, he can start to reach out to to the other party and everyone else, maybe independents, and to try to get them to join his movement.
It just blows my mind that he's 12 years old. I mean, it really does. It totally does. Do you have any friends that are at all involved in politics at this point, or
not
they
really.
just kind of say to you, no, don't talk about it?
I mean, not really. I mean, my best friend, he kind of takes a little bit of interest, but he doesn't study it and anything. I like that he has a little bit of caring about it, but I mean, I wish there was someone I could talk to that was my age about this kind of stuff.
Well, it's an honor to actually be able to give you your first interview, because I think you're going to go far. That's for sure. And at this point, I'm thinking he could just carry his own show, Joe. He doesn't. We might, if he wants somebody to talk to, we can just stick him on the air and let him talk to 80,000 listener hours a month, like we had on Red State Talk Radio last month.
Well, I remember him being at Little League, and I had to say, Kenny, stop trying to debate the coach about a public policy.
What'd you say to your coach?
Well, I mean, I enjoy getting into little debates. I enjoy that. So, I mean, no matter what they say.
See, we actually have Jason Veely on our network. He's 21 years old, and he debates his college professors. And it's problematic, because many times they'll argue with him, and it affects his grade. And he said they're starting to get to the point where they realize, hey, that's a little hypocritical. But that's one of the main things he does. He debates his college professors, and his little brother is doing the same thing. He's in high school, and it's got to be frustrating, because to me
the bias.
Yeah, liberalism is. There is no liberalism. If you're liberal, you should be open-minded. Just the word means liberal. You're open, and they're anything but. They're anything but, and it's just. On the other hand, when you say you're conservative, because of what's happened in the public school system and through the decades, and you've got a bunch of teachers that have tenure, so it's no skin off their nose if you leave and go to a private school, the word conservatism is a huge turnoff. That's one thing I've noticed. Donald Trump tries to stay away from that.
Yeah.
He says he doesn't want to label himself. I just think he's actually not conservative. When someone asks him, "Are you a conservative?" he says, "I don't want to have a label on me." And
Well, we could call him lots of things. He's a hard worker. He's a successful business guy. Maybe he's a fighter. Some people want a fighter. But a conservative is not one of the descriptive words we'd probably use.
Well, it's certainly one of the most interesting campaigns I've ever seen. And for Kenny to come up in this kind of environment, I mean, it's got to rope you in. I mean, it really has to rope you in. And as an adult, talking to somebody like you, I got to tell you, it really kind of gives me some hope. For a while there, I'm thinking, boy, are we really messing up the future generations for our kids with the debt and everything like that? What do you feel about that? The debt and what Obama's done as far as tripling the U.S. debt at this point? And I think, what is it? When a kid hits the ground, I think they owe about $40,000 or $50,000 before day one.
Ooh. So, I mean, I think all Obama, like people that like Obama, they're saying they're making progress, but they're using like false numbers. They'll use like very short-term numbers or something that's not relevant to the actual thing. So I think that's really not cool when people would say like we're making progress, we're growing jobs, and like all that stuff, like the unemployment rate. I think it's just they're just spinning it.
The U6 unemployment rate is really something like what?
9% or something.
What 12-year-old knows about a U6 unemployment rate, Joe? This is unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's the labor participation rate that probably means more than the unemployment rate, because when we established how we were going to factor in the unemployment rate, we never expected long-term unemployment to persist this way. So when you fall out of the formula, it makes the formula itself useless.
It's totally irrelevant. We have a friend who's running for the Senate out in California. His name is Tom Del Beccaro. He was the head of the Republican Party out there. He's from New York originally. I told him he's got to move to Texas, otherwise he doesn't have a snowball's chance, and you know what. But he's endorsed by Steve Forbes. He's endorsed by Larry Kudlow. He's got a bunch of the military analysts at the Fox News Channel that had been at the Fox News Channel endorsing him as well. And he's like, I just don't understand it. If you stop counting people that gave up looking for a job, you'll have 100% unemployment or 100% employment at that point. It's skewing the numbers, and if you really do look at how it was done before, the U6 unemployment rate were record high, probably the worst since World War II. So it's just unbelievable to me that at this point, after 8 years of Obama, nobody's catching on. That's what scares me, and the country is so much farther to the left.
Yeah, we thought after his first term that everyone would like swing back at that point, but no one really seemed to understand. They kept going for him, and it was very surprising to me.
It was very surprising. All right, so right now, if you could talk to Donald Trump, what would you say?
Get out of the race.
Don't sugarcoat it, kid. Tell me what you really think. Okay, Ted Cruz, he's going to be at CPAC. In fact,
I'm looking forward to listening to him. Yep.
You are. What would you say to him?
I'd say stay in, try to make a Rubio-Cruz ticket, or Cruz-Rubio ticket. And,
really?
Yeah. I think if it's a Cruz-Rubio ticket, they can take on Trump.
Wouldn't that be funny to have a Cruz-Rubio ticket when supposedly the Republican Party was the party of exclusion, whereas you've got the Democrats that are just a bunch of old retreads.
Yeah, they tell us they say that they're the party of diverse people when we're old white people. Mm-hmm. But if you looked at our beginning, we had 17 people, I think, right?
Yeah.
And there was a woman, there was black, Hispanic. I mean, we're the diverse party, I think.
Absolutely. Totally the diverse party. And what about if you talk about the situation with Rubio, though, as far as the Gang of Eight?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that really hurts him. I think he'd be doing a lot better right now if he hadn't participated in the Gang of Eight.
Can I make an observation here? He doesn't even skip a beat. I can throw anything at him. U6 unemployment rate, Rubio Gang of Eight, and he's like right on it. Is there anything you don't know about politics?
I still got a lot to learn.
Oh, my gosh.
So he even knows humility.
Yes, what a great kid. Just a great kid. You know, my husband, Don Newen, who is my co-host on Cowboy Logic Radio, he's on the phone. I wanted to have him talk to Kenny for a second because he's actually a professional guitarist by trade as well.
Oh,
so
your husband is?
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And put on your headphones, honey. I know you don't have a mic. I'm gonna actually switch with you. I want you to talk to Kenny a little bit as we end up this. We've got only a couple minutes left. Talk about music, how he played the national anthem here at CPAC to start off this morning in front of thousands of people, and just what you do as a professional musician and that kind of thing. And we got to make it quick. We only have a few minutes, so I'm going to switch headsets and let it.
By the way, while he's putting on his headset, Don and Donna, thank you for having us over here. There's been so much activity and excitement all around your booth. We love Red State.
Thank you. You said something to me earlier when I was talking to you at the first time we met, and we were talking about how you got into playing guitar. And you said something that was real important, and I'm going to kind of lead you so you'll say it again. But
Okay.
you said you started playing.
Oh, I started playing when I was... I'm not sure what I said. Oh, sorry. Oh, I started playing piano, and I always wanted to play guitar, and I would ask my dad if I could pursue another instrument, and he would tell me to wait, and I kept going at it because I was really interested in that instrument, and finally he gave me a chance, and I really appreciate that chance because I took it and ran with it.
Well, the critical thing that you taught me with that is something that is real important for the listeners to understand, and that is he made you do one thing right and showed discipline toward that, and then he said, okay, now you can do the guitar.
Of course.
And that was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge.
It made an impact. I wouldn't be the guitar player I am today if he didn't have me work on piano really hard before I could actually start guitar.
That's right. The other thing is this. You probably don't have an endorsement yet. Am I correct?
Of a candidate?
No, of a guitar.
Oh, sorry. No.
Okay. But if you could have any guitar endorsement that you wanted, you're playing what kind of instrument? A Godin, right?
Yeah, Godin.
Yeah. And which model?
Session.
Okay. If you could have the endorsement through them, is that what you would want? Or is there another instrument that you'd prefer to have?
Endorsement meaning
They give them to you, they say, hey, we want you to use this instrument, but it's the only one you can use, but you have to say, I use this.
Yeah, I'd probably go with either Godin or I'm trying to think of the name. Paul Reed Smith.
There you go. PRS, right?
Yep.
Yeah, those are bad. There's a new company out that we work with, and they actually sent me one of their guitars called Chapman guitars. Chapman.
I'll look into them.
They're from the United Kingdom, and they've got the array from inexpensive all the way up to very expensive, but they're real nice instruments. I play Warrior. Have you ever heard of Warrior instruments?
No, I have not.
Okay. If you like Paul Reed Smith, check out Warrior Instruments.
Got it.
Okay, that's the kind of bass I play.
All right.
But at any rate, I could talk music with you all day long.
Yeah.
I got a minute 40 here from what my producer Donna is telling me. I want to ask you something very quickly, getting back to politics. I've got a saying, and I'm going to ask you to weigh in on the saying.
Okay.
And that is that if you don't go to bed every night absolutely fatigued from trying to restore America from the destruction that's taking place, you're not doing enough.
I agree with that.
All right. What would you tell the listeners as a 12-year-old, educating them as to what they need to do to restore America?
Well, I think if you work hard, if you speak up, and you talk to your local politicians and your politicians running for president, anyone, and tell them how you feel, and if you even want to run for office yourself, or if you want to just campaign for someone, or if you want to go up and talk at a conference or something, just do whatever you can in order to restore America.
That's about it. Got to go to bed absolutely worn out every night in order to do it, because we got a big job ahead of us, don't we?
Yep, this is probably the most important election yet.
Give me a bump on that, my friend. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this guy's giving me chills. You can't see him because I've got long sleeve shirt on, but when you speak, you give me chills.
Thank you.
You're an inspiration, and I do want to be like you when I finally grow up someday. That's big time. I'm going to give it back to Donna to close the segment out here. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how you can find this young guy, but maybe Donna can help us out with getting that information. This man is worth learning how to get in touch with. Hold on.
Well, Kenny and Joe Kakaty, Joe, you have to be so proud of your son. And again, Mark Levin TV that you're working on, and I bet you, something tells me Kenny might be involved with that just a little bit too along the way. We want to thank you so much for joining us. Everybody, please check out Levin TV. What is the website there? Is it just levintv.com?
Yes, and also we'd like to plug conservativereview.com. And what I love about Kenny when he interacts with elected officials is that he will look up their Liberty score and then ask them about it. I'm so proud that you have an A score. You've worked hard to earn it because we're tough graders. Or he'll ask, why do you have a C? And he'll look it up and quickly be able to discern whether the person has been a great voter or not, separating rhetoric from a voting record.
Yeah, I thought my congressman had a pretty good record, and he's a C+. I was surprised.
Well, there's no bell curve.
No.
A C+ isn't bad.
Is it really? Well, I don't know. He's retiring because I think he's kind of fed up. I'll be honest with you. Lynn Westmoreland here in Georgia. Okay. But thank you guys, Kenny and Joe Kakaty, so much. We will look for Levin TV. I'm certainly looking forward to it. I got my subscription already, and we will definitely have this kid back on because he is an inspiration to me, and I'm sure he will be an inspiration to many, many people for the years to come. And we'll try to get your contact information as well, and people want to get hold of Kenny, we will put it on our website as well. So if anybody knows my email address, I'll certainly be happy to forward that to you. But I just totally appreciate it. Good luck with Levin TV, and keep up the great work, man. I know you got two little brothers?
A little brother and a little sister.
Man, they got a great big brother to look up to, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us here on Cowboy Logic Radio.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Donna.
You've been listening to Cowboy Logic Radio, unfiltered, politically incorrect common sense. Join us midnight to 2 a.m., late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. Find us on the web at cowboylogic.us and join our Facebook group, Cowboy Logic Restoring America Forum. That's Cowboy Logic Radio, unfiltered, politically incorrect common sense.